have my guest join us virtually via telephone call this morning. Thanks for joining us this morning, Mr. Oladapo.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yes, it's World Wetlands Day, and the first of its kind being celebrated across the world according to the United Nations. First, I'd like you to give us a brief understanding of what it means, World Wetlands Day.
Okay, so World Wetlands Day is just a day that is set aside to create sensation and awareness about wetlands conservation all over the world. The UN has dedicated a day, February 2nd, all over the world, that we talk about issues affecting wetlands and what is necessary to be done to conserve wetlands.
Okay, so now this global awareness, how does it affect people? How does it affect our planet? How does it affect our world? Because Nigeria and Africa is not excluded from the whole world. So let's understand how it affects us.
Okay, so fortunately for us, Nigeria also has quite a large number of wetlands. We have everywhere. In Lagos, in every part of the country, we have wetlands. So, so wetlands is also, okay, or maybe I should quickly define what wetlands is. Just a piece of land that's saturated by water, either permanently or temporarily, and it has its own importance. So when we look at the importance of these wetlands to the environment and to the people, then it's necessary for us to discuss issues that is affecting it. For instance, if you say people need to live in affordable house, if they don't have affordable house or they are not having affordable housing, it becomes an issue for the populace. The government is taking it serious. The same the issue of environment, the issue of wetlands has to be taken serious, because if we have disappearing wetlands, we don't have a thought that it's going to affect us. And because when we look at the importance, the wetlands is performing, or importance of wetland contribution to the ecosystem, to the biodiversity generally, then we'll consider it as an important thing that we need to focus on.
Okay, when you said disappearing wetlands, what do you mean? Are you saying the wetlands are becoming dry lands? You know, to someone watching and is wondering why should we preserve a wetland if we need spaces to probably build houses and industries?
Okay, so two major things in the aspect of the disappearing. One, some are getting dried up as a result of human activity, and we are having some being subdued. There's this insatiable quest in man that they want to develop. Development in itself is not wrong. Of course, if there's no development, we don't have this technology. You cannot call me. We will not have salvation. So we are always inventing development. It's fine, but these have to be done sustainably. So we have discovered that we are having a lot of sampling of these wetlands. So when you sample wetlands, it means that then there's no longer, we don't have wetlands again. So that's disappearing wetlands. So we also have the...
I can hear you.
Okay, so we also have where we have over exploitation of the wetlands over time. And if it's over exploited, maybe by community people, rural people, the coastal people, over time, then it will disappear. It will become just dry land.
Okay, let's talk about the exploitation of these wetlands and human activities that affect them. So let's get to daily habits. We can start with cities and then move to rural areas. What are the daily habits that affect these wetlands? And if we don't preserve it, what are the likely effects? What are the issues that could come up if we don't preserve wetlands in Nigeria?
Okay, so in city, the one that is very common is either sampling or pollution. We are polluting it by dropping waste. We have some places that are considered as the place that they have turned to dumping ground. And so when we do that, when we pollute the water, we are killing the biodiversity, the living organism that we have in the wetlands. We are killing them. We are changing the form of the water. So when they become, when the water system becomes inhabitable for the living organism, either they're going to migrate or they're going to die. So we lose them. So we lose the importance of that wetland to the community or to the general well-being of man. So that is in the city. Those are two major things that are happening in the city. We are just having people trying to develop buildings, especially developers, I don't know whether they get approval from government or not. You just discover that before you wake up, one wetland that's behind your house or that is around you, one skyscraper is already there. It's saturated everything. We are just developing in unsustainably. Now, when it comes to the community or the rural areas, what they do more is more of exploitation, over exploitation. In other words, there's a large dependency on the wetlands for their daily activities. Of course, you cannot totally blame them because that's where they get income for their feeding. So, but what government can do, or the NGO like us, NCF, Nigerian Conservation Foundation, has been doing, is to go to these community people and do empowerment programs and do train them and provide little funds we could to dissuade their mind on over exploitation, so that they will reduce their total dependency on the wetlands.
I heard you mention unsustainable development. Can you give some light on that? What does that mean? Because when we say development, really, people expect something better to happen. So when you say it's unsustainable, are you saying that it is, going to affect another aspect of life?
Okay, so a very good example is this. I have a piece of land. I want to build. I have my building put up. Then I concretize everywhere, cemented everywhere. That is unsustainable. Why? You're supposed to plant a tree. You're supposed to have a small garden. You're supposed to have a piece of land, a little portion where you can have something green. If it's possible for you, you can. So, for instance, even when you have a piece of land that you have a portion that is for wetlands, you can leave it. It's not out of, because this can also serve a purpose for the ecosystem. Number one is this: when you have wetlands also help us to reduce flood. So a lot of time when we have an heavy downfall of rain, the wetland absorbs this water. So over time, gradually, it releases the water. So when you treat it means that when there's heavy downpour, then we are exposed to erosion. So we are exposed to erosion. Erosion is going to destroy. See, one of the challenges we are having in Lekki is the cost of unsustainable development, because they did not give a thought to, how we did handle this water issue, so they're just transferring, developing, and all that. Nobody cares about anything. So when we go ahead and do this, it's going to come back to us. Environment, we always find this level. We are the one that will suffer. The flood we are experiencing, is it the environment that is suffering? We are the one. People are getting displaced from their house. We are the one. So we also have a wetland that is serving as a convergence point for birds, especially the migratory birds. So people can come around and do what we call bird washing. So because usually you see a lot of birds and all the rest, kingfisher and the likes, you can easily sight them at wetlands. So when we don't have wetlands again, it means that we don't have the birds to, for the, in fact, the therapeutic aspect of it for sightseeing alone is wonderful, because the science has discovered that just looking at doing bird washing can have you improve your health. As simple as that, you can imagine. You don't need to take drugs. Just watching birds fly around, enjoying their activities, can improve your health. So when you look at this importance in itself, is it not enough for us to conserve or to develop sustainably? How long do we want to continue to be destroying the environment recklessly, and then we think it is not get at us? It will definitely get at us.
You took the word floods out of my mouth. I was going to ask if it's connected, has anything to do with flooding. Maybe because we are in the Harmattan season, it looks like something that we are not probably afraid of anymore. But let's move very quickly because of our time. How do we save our wetlands in Africa from disappearing? And the ones that have disappeared, is there any hope of recovering our wetlands?
Okay, first and foremost is let me start from the angle of individual. As an individual, what do you need to do? Thank God for social media these days. Join us to promote the message. Wetlands are not wasteland. The theme for this year's commemoration is wetlands action for people and nature. So they are doing a clarion call that people should rise up to salvage or to save wetlands for further disappearance and destruction. So on your own, you can post some of these messages. You can follow us on all our pages, NCF Nigeria One Word, where we have enough information about wetlands, the importance, where you can also help us to share and do it. Then, if you have any organization that is talking about wetland conservation, you can team up with us, team up with them. If you have anybody who has money to give out funding for the wetland conservation, you can release your fund. So that's as an individual or corporate organization, what you can do. So what can you also do? When you see people that are transferring wetlands, of course, when you identify wetlands, you discover that they are transferring wetlands, you can raise an alarm, either to government or to NCF or to any other organization. We have LACEPA and all of them in Lagos State and every other state too have. And all over the place, you can raise alarm, look at what this activity that is happening. Because if you keep quiet, it's also going to affect you. The importance is going to, you discover that you no longer benefit from the importance of this wetland. So that's why you need to speak up. And then if you as an individual, you're part of the people that dump your refuse in the wetland, you think it's just a piece of land that is a waste, you need to stop it. We should find a way of doing proper waste management. We can't do it. We have a lot of waste management organization and coordination the various state government all over Nigeria are put in place. Let's make use of it. Yeah. So don't let us continue to be dumping our refuse in this wetland. And then those who are engaging in other activities of exploitation and trying to destroy, some don't even care. So can go to any length as long as they have their way. Let's have a rethink. Because when we destroy our environment, we cannot have another planet to go to.
Thank you so much, Mr. Oladapo, for enlightening us and telling us how to care for environment, especially here in Nigeria and in Africa. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
We hope that your message is well received and changes are seen across Africa. Thank you so much and do have a great day ahead.
And you too.
I have a message in connection with the wetlands, just a video for you to watch. Stay tuned.
These amazing places on our planet, these amazing places with life on Earth, from flood protection to filtering wastewater to tackling climate change. Wetlands are important for human health and for our well-being. And that's why I'm so pleased that in 2021, the UN General Assembly designated the 2nd of February as a World Wetlands Day. When we protect and when we use wisely and when we restore wetlands, we safeguard what matters most, because 4 billion people rely on the services that wetlands provide. This is a UN decade of ecosystem restoration. This is a decade of action. So let's use World Wetlands Day as a chance to reset our relationship with these critical and unbelievably beautiful ecosystems for the benefit of people and planet.
Much as we can take on the Washington Post and on the newspaper review this morning. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are just joining us, you can catch up the conversation, especially about the International Day on our social media platform on YouTube at High Impact TV. You can follow us across our social media platforms at High Impact TV and High Impact TV UK and News Around the Globe on the score. I'm Esther Kalu, and don't forget some details of the news that you have seen this morning on the newspaper review. We'll come back to you at 3 p.m. and 9 p.m. with more stories for you to look out for. Till I see you again, do stay safe. Bye-bye.